Hey, what's up guys? It's Luke from Luke the Gathering, and you know what time it is. It's time to open up a pack and see what we get inside this 15 card draft booster. I'm gonna think about what cards would I take first, second, third, and fourth, and so on, as if we were drafting in an actual draft tournament. So let's say we just got this pack, let's open it up, take out the tokens and the land, and then see what we get. Swamp and a dungeon card. And let's see what we're going to pull out of here. We got Boots of Speed, Shocking Grasp, Planner Ally, Eyes of the Beholder, Inspiring Bard, You Come to a Knoll Camp, Devour Intellect. This is like the exact pack from the other day. Clattering Skeletons, Improvised Weaponry. Okay, finally, we get something different. Here we go. Cridle of Baldur's Gate, uncommon. You see a pair of goblins, a loathsome troll, and another red mythic, Zariel, Archduke of Avernus. Okay. That's an interesting card. And we have a foil mimic, so we'll include that as well. We pulled this in our very first opening. Let's see where it ends up today. It was one of the last cards last time, so let's go. Let's lay these cards out, and let's see what we would pick out of this pack here. We're getting definitely some repeats from our past pack, like a lot of repeats. And then we got a foil. I think this is the first time we've gotten a foil in this particular video series, so that's kind of nice. The Mimic is a foil here. But lots of doubles from last time. Like I would say from, well, we've gotten every one of these cards before, except I think we've gotten these three in one particular pack and then the rest in another. But just like last time, I feel like there's one card here that you would probably take first, almost no matter what, and that would be Zariel, the Archduke. And Zariel is an interesting card. It's a Planeswalker at Mythic, and I'm just going to hold it this way just so I can see it better. But its +1 ability is creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. So big time on the aggression here, and it's red, so red's very aggressive. Its 0 cost is create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. That's really nice. It has a little bit of protection for it, so it comes in with 4 loyalty already. And then the -6 ability, which is super doable since you start with 4 loyalty already. You get an emblem with at the end of first combat phase on your turn, untap target creature you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. So you get another, it's not like super great, but it's definitely doable. And if you're really, really aggressive, I think that's pretty good. So Zariel at least has the ability to pump out 1/1 devil creatures and then potentially help you in combat. Looking at all the other cards, I think that's definitely the card I would pick first. Obviously, it's a mythic. Not all mythics are cards you would pick first. Some mythics you would probably just leave there and never take. But this is definitely worth taking, especially compared to everything else that's in the deck of cards that you got. I don't really see anything that I would really want over and above Zariel. Now, the next pick's going to be interesting. I picked Planner Ally pretty high up in one of my picks. We also have Cridle here. I like Cridle. I did really like blue and black at the beginning of this format. I really wanted blue and black to be something that was a thing, but apparently it's just not strong enough. But let's go with, I think honestly, I would take Clattering Skeletons. Maybe is that a surprise pick? I just think for me, I'm in black red so often and trying to get into black red. I think I would pick the black creature out of this. When Clattering Skeletons dies, venture into the dungeon. I think I picked Clattering Skeletons way later in another deck pack that we've done, but I think Clattering Skeletons is strong enough to take. When it dies, you get to go into the dungeon. It's beefy enough to beat the 2/2 for 2s. Doesn't cost an extreme amount, like 3 and a black is not too bad. I think I'll put Clattering Skeletons there. And then I think we're going to go with what we did before. We have Planner Ally. If you're in white, you're going to want Planner Ally for the flying and the venturing. I think that's a really nice creature to do that. Flying is, like I said, just a huge premium in Limited. Flying helps you so much. And its friend, which we got in our last one, was Inspiring Bard. I'll put Inspiring Bard there, just next to Planner Ally. Inspiring Bard, it's the creature we talked about before that gives you +2/+2, gives a target creature +2/+2 when it comes in, or you can gain 3 life. I think having those 2 options is really great, and green, like we've talked about before, is a life-gaining sort of archetype, so I think Inspiring Bard's great for that. And I think you could really switch Planner Ally and Inspiring Bard between each other depending on what you want to do. Next, I think we would go with Improvised Weaponry. It's a sorcery speed, and we've talked about this card before, but it can do 2 damage to any target, including your opponent. Just have 2 damage to them. You don't have to target a creature, but most likely you're going to kill a creature with this most often, I think, maybe 75% of the time. And then it creates a treasure token. So getting that treasure token can be really important. I think treasure in this format has been huge, and I think Improvised Weaponry is great for that purpose. I think then we're going to put Krydle. I would have had Krydle way higher if blue-black was more of a thing. It says, whenever Krydle of Baldur's Gate deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card, then you gain 1 life and scry 1. That's really great. Those are really kind of nice abilities. Like if you have Thieves' Tools on him or something, he goes in, but you're really only plinking them for 1, and then they lose 1, so that's 2. You know, it's just very tiny bits of damage over and over. I really love you can pay 2 and then you can have another creature not be able to get blocked. So I feel like maybe if you had some big creature alongside, you do all the milling stuff and the scrying and the life manipulation, getting him in for 1 and then having another attacker, but I just feel like that doesn't happen. It's hard for that to happen. It doesn't happen too often. So Krydle is just gonna sit there for now. I used to pick Krydle pretty high up. Now I'm kind of a little bit lower for Krydle, but I still like the guy. I still enjoy picking him. Okay, I think next we're gonna go with You Come to the Knoll Camp. This is the one we've seen before. It's a combat trick where you can make two creatures not be able to block. I think having creatures not block is awesome. I love sneaking guys in, and I tend to play very aggressively. So this does a great job of that. And a bonus, you can also use the Fend Them Off ability, which gives +3/+1, which is amazing on offense, but also really nice on defense. You can use this on defense to keep someone alive when they least expect it. After that, we're going to say You See a Pair of Goblins. I always feel like this would be something I should use more, but I tend not to. The first part, you know, all the creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. I think that's a big surprise. That could be nice as a combat trick, especially if you have a deck that can go really wide, which is possible with cards like this, because the next one is create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, so you can get 2 1/1s out of this at instant speed, which is an interesting card, I really think. So I'll put it there. I just feel like in real use, I haven't found that it's too amazing, so it's just gonna sit there. After this, let's go with Boots of Speed. We've talked about this card before. Boots of Speed you know, the equipped creature gets +1/+0. It's cheap to equip, but it's just not a very big buff. And I think, you know, realistically, it's 2 mana to get a creature that hits the board, you know, haste right away. I think you can use it in some decks, some equipment decks, but it's not particularly, I think it's not going to make the cut most of the time. I think after that we're going to go with Shocking Grasp. It's another combat trick that is a bit more defensive. Target creature gets -2, -0 until end of turn. The nice part about this card is that you can draw a card as well. I just think it's a pretty mediocre card, and it's in blue, which is the least of all colors in the set, so it's gonna sit there. I think we're gonna put Eyes of the Beholder next. It's a 6-drop removal spell in effect. It gives a creature -11/-11, which is effectively a removal spell, but its high cost is a little bit preventative for this card. Black has a lot of other removal spells that are better and more efficient than this one, so it's just going to sit here. I think next is going to be Loathsome Troll. I'm actually going to put it in the 3rd column here. Loathsome Troll. You know, it's a creature that can keep coming back, but the 2 on the defense just is going to make it go away. Like, it's just going to get killed by everything. 2 drops are just going to chump block it, and it's going to be really hard to get this damage through. And then the rolling the d20, it says activate only if Loathsome Troll is in your graveyard. First of all, it costs 4, like 3 and a green to do this. And then it goes on either top of the library, which is the worst case scenario, into your hand, which is okay, back to the battlefield, which is great, but it's tapped. So I think it's just too big of a cost. It costs 4, and then you probably wouldn't be able to get it back into your if in the most likely scenario, in the most likely good scenario, it goes into your hand and you could possibly play it again for, it's a 5-drop, and then it's just gonna get killed again most likely, and then you just gotta keep doing it over and over. I just think it's an annoying card to use. I just wouldn't. I don't think it's very good. Mimic is also a card I would put next. I don't think anyone ever would really use it too much. You can sacrifice it to get, you know, mana of any color. Okay. It can also become a 3/3 creature. I mean, this might be better than Loathsome Troll, but I just think it's a card I see left behind quite often. It's just not that great. I feel like this is another one of those leftover cards. All these cards are the leftover cards, really. And finally, Devour Intellect. I think we've talked about this card. Yes, we have. You know, the target opponent discards a card. You know, take it or leave it. It's just a card that, then you can also spend the treasure, and if you use the treasure, then you can actually choose the card to be destroyed, as long, or not, is it destroyed? Discarded, as long as it's a non-land card. So, I mean, it can be okay. It's just in black. Black is so good. This card is probably never going to see the light of day, even if you take it, because there's an abundance of better cards you'd probably play than Devour Intellect. So this is probably the least of them all. You know, even with Loathsome Troll and Mimic, they're like cards you can use to combat. If you need to, Devour Intellect's just sitting around. It's not going to do a whole lot. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. Did I pick the right order? Would you switch the orders of these cards in any way? Let me know. I'd love to see your thoughts on this particular pack. Thanks for watching, as always. I like to do these. It's a lot of fun to think about what you would choose, and I play in Magic drafts every Friday, so being able to do this, I feel like, is a good little exercise in preparing myself to draft. So thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you next time.